Hi everyone, we are here to talk about Pathaan, and these spaces actually need no introduction in trade. Taran, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to Akshay, Abhimanyu Bansal, and Ruban. Abhimanyu Bansal is a leading distributor, and he happens to be the distributor of Pathaan also. And Ruban and Rathi are exhibitors, and Taran, I think we don't need to introduce you.
Ah,
So, Karan, let's start with you. You have been
yeah,
seeing, writing, experiencing so many movies along the years.
yeah.
When did you last see this kind of excitement?
Well, I think for the Hindi film industry, not in the recent past, but yes, I did witness it during the release of KGF 2, where a lot of people, a lot of cinegoers were very supremely excited to watch that film. Having said that, for a Hindi film, yes, for a Hindi film, it's been, I think, a long, long time since we experienced something like this. Uh, you know, uh, I was there in the morning at 7 a.m. At a multiplex in Mumbai, in Lokhandwala. And believe me when I say this, it was packed. And the kind of reaction that the film was receiving, I mean, be it Shah Rukh's entry or be it Salman's entry, now that we can mention it, of course, I think it is phenomenal. The film has all the merits to actually score big and big time at the box office with big numbers also. And I think in days to come, there was this drought of hits, and we were always talking about how 2022 had really eroded the financials of the Hindi film industry. But I guess the time starts now for 2023 with Pathaan. Pathaan is it's a great start. 2023 has begun with a bang, and it's well begun. It's half done.
Akshay, when did you
Well,
last see this kind of
absolutely.
euphoria? When did you last experience this?
I think the last time I remember seeing it for a Hindi film, to some extent, was with Suryavanshi, which came on Diwali immediately after we emerged from the pandemic. But what we're witnessing right now in terms of 6 a.m. shows getting jam packed, and people rather than watching scenes, people celebrating scenes. Especially the set pieces of action, the Salman Khan cameo, Shah Rukh's entry, the climax. So it's spectacular to see Hindi cinema come back with a bang, people turning up at the theaters early in the morning and consistently coming in show after show. Really hoping that it just sustains over the extended weekend and on the weekdays forward, because this is something that all of us in the business really needed since a while.
So, Abhimanyu and Ruben must be already, setting up the stage for a party tonight. And you also.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Vicky. Like Akshay mentioned, this is actually a celebration. Today in the morning, I went to Raj Mandir for the morning show, and there people were there gathered with a dhol to enter the theater. They were playing dhol and they were dancing and they were entering the theater. And especially the song when the Besharam Rang comes on, you saw all the videos all over Twitter. Everybody is dancing in the whole theater, on the stage, everywhere. It's madness out there.
In fact, that was the song which was objected to, Ruben.
Down south, it was very different. There was no protest, nothing of that sort. Here, we always celebrate the movies. We don't object things that come in movies, or we don't make it. We don't politicize the thing here easily. We actually screened today morning. It was surprised. It was 85% houseful. It was a morning 8 a.m. show for a Hindi film at Chennai city. It's a very good opening. I saw the film. I liked it very much. I enjoyed it, especially as Akshay told, the action was very good, and especially Salman Khan's cameo was bringing down the roof in the theater.
Taran, tell me your favorite scene.
Well, there are many actually. I loved Shah Rukh Khan's entry in the film, introduction in the film. Then, of course, towards I mean, when of course, there's a very very crucial part where Deepika Padukone interacts with Shah Rukh Khan, and that leads to John Abraham. But anyway, but then post interval when Mr. Khan, Salman Khan enters, I think there was pandemonium completely. I completely endorse what Ruben, Abhimanyu, and Akshay have said. The audience were going completely berserk, and the kind of reaction, the feedback was tremendous. In fact, I would go to the extent of saying that, after a long time, I could see people reacting to a hero's introduction that way on the big screen for a Hindi film hero. Like I said, for Yash in KGF 2 was understandable because that was a franchise, but this is not a franchise. This is not a sequel. This comes on a non-holiday working day. So I guess this holds a lot more importance for the film industry, as well as for people who are associated with the business of the film. Having said that, I feel the finale of the film, again, when Salman and Shah Rukh come together, I think that brought a huge, big smile on my face. It's something that I would not really like to reveal it, because that would be a spoiler. But it has to be seen on the. I actually offer the chase between Shah Rukh, Deepika, and John, with Deepika skating. But I guess you have to watch this on the big screen, because some films are meant for the big screen and to be enjoyed and relished on the big screen, and this is one of those films.
So let's hear your expectation. In fact, all of you individually, what do you think should be today's figures and weekend figures as well? Means if you count from Wednesday to Sunday, how much will you round it off as? And Wednesday today also.
Today, sure, go ahead, sir.
No, please, Akshay, please go ahead. I would like to listen to your inputs. Yeah.
Sure. So, Vicky, my expectation is, considering that it's a working Wednesday today, we're looking at anything upwards of 35 crores, which I think is terrific for a day like that. And who knows, depending on how the evening shows go, this could be 40, this could be 42, this could be 45. But a 35 plus as a bottom line, bare minimum worst case scenario, is a given today. And tomorrow is 26 January, which is one of the most business-friendly days in the year. So tomorrow I only expect it to escalate from here and go further. And over the extended 5-day weekend, anything between a 172 and 200 is conveniently possible.
Bansal, you might have the andar ki khabar, because you're distributing Pathaan. So
yes,
how much is Yashraj expecting? How much are you expecting in the distribution circuit?
Yes, so it's my expectation for today is much higher than how Akshay puts it. I am estimating somewhere above 50 CR for day one, because we have a solid advance booking which comes in for the day one only. When we talk about the advance booking tickets which have been sold, it's always for day one. So this is one of the highest number of tickets sold for day one. So I am expecting India to be upwards of 50 crores for day one, and over the weekend I am with Akshay, like it should be close to 200 crores.
Taran,
fingers crossed for today, Abhimanyu.
Fingers crossed.
Taran, do you agree?
Well, yes, I would beg to differ slightly with Akshay, but agree completely with Abhimanyu. My estimates were, prior to the release, was around 40 to 45 on day one. But having watched the film, having seen the film, and I've enjoyed the film, and I, of course, seeing the audience reaction, I feel is going to be 45 plus on day one. And the extended weekend, 5-day weekend, could touch an estimate of, say, 200 crores.
Ruban?
Yeah, I have the same view for the first. For today, I thought it might cross 40 or 41 on the range of 40 plus. And in the 5-day weekend, I was expecting 175, 180, because I don't know much about the North potential. Just an estimate.
So, Akshay, these three are on the different side and you are on the different side. Now, let's see if it's 35 or whether it's 40 plus.
No, Vicky, I'm not saying it's going to be 35. I'm saying the bottom line, it starts at 35. It could be 40, 45, whatever. So, and I'd rather be conservative with my estimate than be overambitious with it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure 40 plus looks like it's on the cards, going by the reports, the euphoria. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping that Abhimanyu and Taranji are correct. And I'm praying that happens, and we, who knows, hopefully score a half century today with the numbers. And also, if you note, Vicky, the other thing that's happened is the ticket prices are at a slight premium. which obviously comes handy and helps in scoring a bigger figure when it comes to the net box office.
Yeah.
So really hoping that Abhimanyu and Taranji are right in praying and keeping my fingers crossed for a historic day one.
So, Taran, I want to ask you, and in fact, all of you, how did this turnabout happen? ये बीच में इतना सारा जो चल रहा था कि ban Bollywood, ban this one, ban that one, and how has this whole thing changed? I mean, what do you feel about it?
Well, there are very different ways of looking at it. One, Shah Rukh Khan returns to the big screen after almost 4 years, after Zero, which released in December 2018, and it's now January 2023. So I guess the wait was really worth it. Two, people were, well, Jawan was hyped over a period of time. Sorry, not Jawan. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. I'm talking about Pathaan. Pathaan was hyped over a period of time, and people were really looking forward to it. That the combination of Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Padukone, and John Abraham, and of course Salman Khan. I guess it was out in the media where Salman is going to be will be seen in the film. So guess that also added to the curiosity of the film. Plus, as you just mentioned about boycott, well, I guess when you have such astonishing advance booking numbers, and when you have such superb occupancy in the theaters from day one, from morning show itself, I think that should silence all the naysayers. It should silence everyone who has been saying Hindi film industry is finished, or like we kept hearing that people were writing obituaries for the Hindi film industry after 2022. But I guess now, as I said, I genuinely hope and I genuinely pray that 23 brings in good news. And this year, I mean, with starting with Pathaan right now, I think it's going to be a great start. Pathaan is going to silence a lot of detractors who had written off the Hindi film industry. I guess this is just the beginning. Picture abhi baki hai.
बंसल, आप कोई फिल्मी डायलॉग ऐड करें तरन के फिल्मी डायलॉग के बाद?
तो तरन जी ने बिल्कुल सही बोला है कि this year is going to be biggest and it has started with the bang with Pathaan. Also, whenever a movie goes into a controversy, be it a negative controversy or a positive controversy, it usually benefits the movie. So the same thing happened with Pathaan. Although it was a negative controversy, people were going against it. The Bollywood boycott gang was active, and there were a lot of organizations all over the country were trying to ban the movie. But eventually, when the PM gave a statement, it helped the movie to come out of everything.
Akshay?
Well, I mean, I truly believe that beyond a point, controversies do create awareness and bring any movie to the into the limelight. But eventually, it's the movie's content that plays out, right? We've had Padmavat, which was surrounded by greater controversies than Pathaan ever was, and it turned out to be a blockbuster. And then there was a movie called Chapak, which came out just before the pandemic struck. Lots of controversy around it, and the movie didn't do well. So a controversy can get you news time, but eventually it's the movie's engagement, entertainment value that brings people to the theaters. And clearly Pathaan has that in abundance. People are out there in cinemas having a great time, celebrating the euphoria around it, celebrating the brilliant action sequences, the songs and all of that. And I think that should silence any detractor who is saying that Hindi movies are not going to do well and all of that. Also, while 2022 had more misses than hits, we have had a Bhool Bhulaiya, we have had a Gangubai, we have had, Drishyam 2, Bhediya, Jog Jog Jio, a bunch of films that did reasonably well. And I'm pretty sure that if you also look at the kind of films that came in 2022, an overwhelming majority of them were conceptualized before the pandemic. And in those 2 years of the pandemic, the taste of the people obviously evolved and changed. And that's why a lot of those movies were shooting at a goalpost that had already moved. So now the movies that are coming in, which were conceptualized and conceived after the pandemic, will be more in the space of the audience's evolved taste. And that's why I'm pretty sure that in 2023, we'll see a much healthier, much better strike rate and success ratio for films. And some of the trailers that have already come out, whether it's Tu Jhooti Hai Makkar, whether it's the teaser of Bola that came out, Shehzada, Kisi Ka Bhai Kisi Ki Jaan, we saw it today, and that was a nice surprise. So we have a good bunch of films coming up soon, in the months ahead. And I'm pretty sure all of them will give the entertainment business and most importantly, fans of the movies huge reasons to celebrate in the years to come, in the year ahead.
So, Bansal, what does this signify? Let me ask you a different question here. What does this signify for Bollywood? Let's conclude with this, in fact.
This clearly signifies that the Bollywood has not gone out of business just yet. We have great budget movies which are lined up for the entire year. The industry has gotten back the confidence after Drishyam 2's release and after Pathaan's opening right now. And when the directors start directing such big scale, big budget movies, they have tremendous scope to come up with new stories also. So Bollywood hasn't gone back. People don't write it off just yet. And when you're comparing to South Indian movies, Bollywood can create further records and break all the records further.
That's quite a thing. Ruban?
Yeah, I feel Bollywood is back with a bang in style, actually. It was the only industry that was, it was long time pending, a blockbuster, a hit. People were waiting. The pent-up demand was too high for people. They were waiting for their own movie to celebrate. They celebrated KGF 2. They celebrated the other industry movies like Kantara and everything. But they were waiting for a proper Hindi film, commercial film to throng the theaters. So I guess this is it. You guys are back in business, Bollywood.
Okay, I like that you guys are back from the south to Bollywood. Akshay, concluding word? You and Taran?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's really good to, all of us exhibitors work. Of course, it's a business and there's a value chain and all of that. But I don't think there's anything that gives all of us in the trade more satisfaction and joy than seeing people come out and have a good time at the movies, right? Because this is a medium that brings people of all castes, communities, genders, religions together to laugh at the same jokes, to cry on the same emotions, to celebrate the same cinematic moments. And to see that happening for a Hindi film all over again after such a long time is truly a joy. So I hope that this momentum that Pathaan has built continues with the movies that are coming up ahead, and we have a terrific 2023.
Well, I would say that the magic of the big screen can never fade. The big screen will always be the first choice for moviegoers, and the fact that people were there in hordes waiting to watch Pathaan at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning today only goes to prove and indicate that cinema is here to stay and will stay for a long, long, long time. I think it's a great, great feeling for every exhibitor today, every distributor today. And I think the entire trade is rejoicing because after a lull, वो कहते हैं ना कि there's been a storm today. I think it's a great start to 23. I hope, fingers crossed, that the year continues in the same breath, in the same way.
Thank you, guys. Thank you once again for joining me for this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.